morning we received word that we had a leak in the water main here at Briar Cliff University. And since that time, we have been working diligently, not only our own staff and workers here, but with the city of Sioux City, MJ Minor, and with Folk Brothers in an effort to locate the leak and then ultimately repair it. So that work has gone on in these very difficult weather conditions, and so they have been bringing in the technology, for example, that the city has to help us find the leak. Very, very late last night, they, with the equipment that they had, believed that they may have found the leak. At that point in time, we then needed to get new locates for other utilities here on campus because it was a ways away from the original area that we were working on. So those locates were completed very early this morning, and we have equipment here on campus, and at this point in time they are still digging to get to that leak. Obviously, as we all know, with what the weather has been like, well, not only right now, but this entire winter, they're dealing with at least 36 inches of frost in the ground and a very, very slow process. So that is underway at this time, and they continue to push forward as we work to identify the specific location of the leak. We have also worked with the city of Sioux City, and we've identified the necessary parts and materials that we would need to repair it, and they are working with us to make those parts available for this process. So there is a lot of collaboration that is taking place in this important work. At the same time, we have also been focusing on the needs of our students. And so we have had significant conversations, discussions, and communication with our students about what is happening on campus. I think everyone knows that classes were canceled today and our offices are officially closed, although there are many people here working on campus. Through that process, we also early on let our students know that if they were home for the weekend, that they should stay at home and that we would stay in touch with them rather than have them come back to campus. So from the very beginning, we have worked hard to try to make sure that everyone was in a place that we could serve them properly. In addition, we called the American Red Cross as we were looking at how we would serve our students, and they have been a great blessing to us because of the work that they do and the planning that they do. So in that process, they indicated to us that the best location for us to use if we would need overnight accommodations for our students would be West Middle School. And so during the day yesterday, we began to prepare for moving those students who either didn't have family in the community or friends that they would go stay with. We wanted to make sure that they had a place to go. So during the evening, we shuttled students to West Middle School where they had cots, they had the opportunity to take a shower. We served them their breakfast there this morning and lunch. And so all of those services were provided for our students. Late last evening, I stopped by West Middle just to take a look at the arrangements, and I was very impressed with the professional work that they've done and the way that they were there to serve our students. So we're very grateful to the Sioux City school system and Dr. Paul Gaussman, and of course to the American Red Cross for their help in our work to serve our students.
What's the plan for tonight then? Are they going to be staying there again tonight? Or?
We do not yet know where they will be staying tonight. We are planning to meet as a campus team at 3 o'clock this afternoon, and we have told our students that they will have a specific statement from us by 4 o'clock this afternoon. We don't want to keep them in a wondering situation. We are currently evaluating a couple of different options for this evening, but I'm not in a position yet to say what those will be because we're still doing some work on that. But we are committed to making sure that if this is not completed at that point in time, that we would have a place for them to be this evening as well.
So it may be not necessarily West Middle, but somewhere.
It may be somewhere else.
Okay.
We were fortunate because today there are no classes at West Middle. And so it worked out very, very well. But we're also looking at whether or not that would be the best alternative tonight, or would there be some other location that might be better.
At this time, do you know if you'll have class tomorrow?
We do not. That decision will be made at 4 o'clock as well, so that students and, of course, faculty can plan accordingly.
I know you went over the whole timeline of things, but talk to me about what happened when you found the leak. Was there no heat? No.
Sure.
Yeah, go over those specifics as to
We'll
why
do
these
that.
kids can't be.
Right,
there.
exactly. Well, first of all, as I said, we found the leak early yesterday morning, and for a while, the leak was allowed to continue as we prepared our campus. And then approximately 10 o'clock in the morning yesterday, we turned off the water to the campus. So the first observation is that we have no water on the campus. But this campus also relies on water for heating in some of the buildings. In fact, most of the buildings. Although you're in a building right now that does not have, the water heat is not on at this moment. It's actually very comfortable in here. On the other hand, we've kept a minimal amount of water in the system so they can heat occasionally, just to keep some warmth in the buildings. Our Heelan Hall, which is our largest building on campus, has heat because it is a geothermal system. So it's fed by its own wells, and then we re-inject the water into the earth, and then the water comes back out. So we actually have heat, full heat in Heelan Hall, and I would say minimal levels on the rest of the campus. So that's where we are at this point in time. So it has affected the water supply, and because we have steam heat, it has affected the steam heat in all of the buildings except for Heelan Hall.
How many students were displaced?
Well, the actual number that ended up over at West Middle School was 39, or students, I think somebody said 40, but it was 39 was according to our count. And there are roughly 454 students who live on campus. Mm-hmm. So there were students who were impacted, but roughly a little less than 10% went to West Middle. Now again, we have a number of students because of the weekend and other things that may have been going on who aren't even here. And so, and because we got the word out, they didn't return to campus. So we were able to minimize that impact upon our students. And the reality is, a campus this size, we know the students, they know us, they have close friendships. And so, in fact, last night when I was out in the parking lot, some of the students were here picking up a couple of students because they live in a house in the community, picking up their friends, going to take them to spend the evening with them. Mm-hmm.
So we, at dinner yesterday, had Residence Life staff work with the residence students to find out, for those who were here on campus, what they would like to do, whether they want to stay off campus with a friend or go to West Middle School. And also when we communicated to all students if they were at home, just to indicate that they were planning to stay at home. So we could have a good sense and accountability of where students were.
Okay. And after 3 o'clock today, how will you communicate to the students what the plan is?
We will once again communicate to them via email. Yesterday, on 2 or 3 occasions, we used text messaging to get their attention and to make sure that they were aware of the situation. But because of the amount of information we wish to share with them, that's not conducive to a text message. So they know to check their emails on a regular basis. They'll be getting a message from us at about 2 o'clock today, telling them that here's the latest, but you're going to get a complete report at 4 o'clock this afternoon. And so then they'll know to watch for that at that time.